so excited to be here with you tonight. It's been a while since Erin and I have been on Facebook Live.
And we're stoked about it.
Yeah, it feels good. It's like coming home.
That's right. It's like coming home, Crystal.
Yeah, so tonight we are talking about creating a daily happiness practice with micro-gratitudes. So we'll get more into what we mean by that later. But for those of you who don't know us, my name is Crystal Hines.
And I'm Erin Linehan.
We're the co-founders of the Kali Institute, which is a counseling and wellness practice located in Broomfield, Colorado. And we love working with high-achieving individuals and help them to access their best lives and joyfully release their inner badass.
Yeah.
So check us out. Go to our website and learn more about what we do. But yeah, we're coming here tonight really diving into being able to create a daily happiness practice with micro-gratitudes. So before we actually go there, I want to just share a little disclaimer, maybe. I get very resistant and kind of like an oppositional teenager when I think about doing a gratitude practice.
Mm-hmm.
So if any of you have that feeling too, where you're just like, get away with that, like gratitude, BS, give me a little hands up emoji so I'm not alone. It's funny because I understand the science behind it and know that it is really helpful, but I just have this like resistance to it. And I think
because I think there's so much culturally, like this flu, like bypass hard stuff and go straight to feeling good. And I think like without like the foundation in being in real reality and just focusing on good things, I think that it's misconstrued.
Yeah.
And so we're
absolutely
not talking about that kind of thing today.
Yeah. And also, hey, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
I'm so glad you're tuning in.
Yeah.
Live. Oh, man. We miss you.
We do miss you.
Yeah, we should get together and catch up.
That's right.
Anyway, yeah. So
back to micro-gratitude.
Talking about gratitude. Yeah. So especially, I think around the holidays, there's this push starting in November for Thanksgiving to like really pay attention to things you're thankful for. And I think if the holidays are hard for you, which it is for a lot of people, it can feel dismissive or forced or
an obligation.
Shame.
Yeah, like an obligation, like you have to feel good. And if you don't feel good, then something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that it just really rubs me the wrong way. So I wanted to just put that out there. We're not about the toxic positivity movement. That is not what we're talking about here.
And I think that toxic positivity, to go into that more, like what is that? And I think that is just that everything is good and everything is happy and that everything is love and light and that sure, things are that. And also when people are when people are in struggle or they're being vulnerable and they're talking about hard things or things that maybe make other people feel uncomfortable, and when we are like, yeah, but at least you have a bed or at least, which is true, but
at least this didn't happen, or
yes,
it could have been worse, or like we've all probably said that to people, to be honest, and people have said it to us, and it feels so awful.
Because it shuts down vulnerability, and I think that's the biggest thing, is that it's like when a person is expressing that, and then we like minimize that by being positive, there's room for positivity, but there also needs to be room for like genuine expression of hard emotions.
Yes, yeah. So, we like to keep it real. So we're not just going to be talking about all the ways that you can be happy and have gratitude or have another practice. So then what do we actually mean by micro-gratitudes? So let's kind of break that down a little bit.
Right. So I think it's not this, I'm happy because we have a business that's going well. That's like a big, grateful thing. But I'm happy because the clients that I see, I really like. And so that's like I can appreciate that throughout the day. Or Crystal went to the store today and got peppermint tea, and that made me so happy because I could have a cup of peppermint tea in between sessions or during a session. And we didn't have peppermint tea before. So those little things, or it was super sunny today, and we've had snow here in the Denver area. And so the roads and parking lots are really icy and like really bumpy because all the snow turned into ice. And so the sun has melted so much of those icy parking lots. And so just being grateful that my car is driving smoothly is just those kind of things.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So it's taking, instead of having to look at the big picture of, you know, something big that I'm thankful for, grateful for, it's zooming it into the here and now in the present moment and really grounding it in reality of something that you can actually genuinely feel good about.
Right.
And even if it's just a moment. So it's like taking the like smaller kind of celebrations from your day or your work week or this interaction with a person or having time to cuddle with your cats or, you know, just like making it
small
more
things.
tangible.
Yes.
Yeah. And that personally really helps me when I feel resistant to the idea of a gratitude practice. I tend to be a big picture kind of person, and I can like get consumed by all the awful shit that's happening on a large scale. And it's hard for me. And so like actually breaking it down to a much like smaller, like micro gratitude
or like if I'm
daily goodness that we can notice
on that level. Like if I'm driving, because I have to drive Highway 36 to get to work, there's awful traffic on Highway 36 in the morning. But above the traffic, there's beautiful view of the mountains driving to work. And so, or appreciate that I can drive in the express lane. Those kind of things are super, just the daily, the more I can do that, then the happier my day is.
Yeah. So we're hoping to just really make this more tangible and realistic for you if you want to have, you know, a daily happiness practice for yourself using MicroGratitude.
And Mo, I'm very happy I got to see you over the holidays too.
Yes. And hi, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn.
You're awesome too. Thank you all for tuning in. So we are talking about creating a daily happiness practice with MicroGratitude. And so let's just dive into a couple points of how to make that happen.
And so why do we need to have a gratitude practice? Because simply our brain is searching for the dangers and the shitty things that could be happening. And so it's looking for negativity. And so if you think of it like negativity sticks to our brain like Velcro, right? Sticks to our brain like that. And positivity comes in and falls off like Teflon. And so our brains are wired to keep us safe. And so doing that is we're looking for negativity. And if we don't practice looking for the positive things, then our brains will continue to see all the things that suck in the world. Yes. So we have to do a gratitude practice and get that in because we have to train our brains to see the positive.
Yeah, and it's rooted in survival. It's nothing wrong with how we see the world. Like it is just rooted in survival that we notice the negative or dangerous things and it just sticks to us. And noticing the positive, like she said, it just slides off.
And it sticks to us because we want to remember that if something bad happened, or if we're driving, right, and this is not a great example. Maybe if we're cave people, right, and if we think there's saber-toothed tigers around the bend, and we're going to avoid those berry bushes to go pick fruit at, so we remember where the danger is, so that we don't put ourselves in dangerous situations in the future. Yeah. And so that's why our brain things stick like Velcro.
It's just automatic, an automatic response that happens. Right. And so that's where like the science behind gratitude and doing that regularly, it's valid and real. And I have to like remind myself, oh yeah, Crystal, noticing the positive things and these micro gratitudes is really, really helpful.
I've been doing these meditations recently about, and in them, they talk about like having your, put a smile on your face or your eyes smile or like your heart smile. And I think like even that sort of thing, that's what I think micro-gratitudes do is they make us like feel like you could smile with your whole body. And I think that when we notice those things that we feel grateful for, the sun, flowers, our pet, whatever it is, like that's what happens in our system.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. So part of creating a daily happiness practice with micro-gratitudes is understanding the basic brain science behind that. Right. That you have to pay attention to the positive in order for the effects to be there.
Right.
And then it's also really helpful. We talk about this a lot, but
all the time.
You really have to be able to get grounded and present, to be able to notice the small things, to be able to zoom in to that micro gratitude. So getting grounded. What do we mean by that?
All the time.
One way I like to, when I was thinking about this, another way to explain it is like a felt sense of peace within your body, like an embodied sense of peace and calm, not this like fake pretend, like, oh, I'm calm, I'm fine, right? But like truly, like your muscles feel relaxed, your jaw is unclenched, your hands are settled and calm.
Like you have a more like a, because we can be constricted. And so grounding really and feeling calm in the body is a more like open presence in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, you might feel openness in your heart, in your chest. You feel your feet on the ground. You feel yourself sitting or standing wherever you're at. You're able to notice your senses around you. In fact, tuning into your senses, especially if you can get all five, that actually really helps do what we're saying and get you into the present grounded state.
And feel your feet on the ground. We talk about that's a super simple way, but if you can really feel your feet and pay attention to like that your heel makes contact with the ground and then lifts up and you can feel your feet on the ground, like that makes a huge difference, because then you know you're supported by the earth.
Yes, absolutely. And being able to be like connected and present with your senses in this way, it is a trick for your brain. So like if you're in a fight or flight kind of stressed out space, when you can actually tune into your senses and feel grounded, it's bringing your brain into your frontal lobe, which means you can actually feel a sense of calm and think about like, okay, what are my next steps, or what do I want to notice here in this moment? What is something that I do feel grateful for right now? So it like turns your brain back on in the frontal lobe.
Also too, so I think I've talked about this before, but your energy center, for your safety in the body, where your energy lies, is in your hips, in your root chakra. And so if you can get air all the way in, like your breath all the way down into your hips, which is sometimes hard to do when we are not grounded, but when we are and we can get air all the way down in there, then it starts to like signal to your body that you are actually safe through your breath and where the energy is going in your body.
Absolutely. Yeah, so there are a lot of ways to do this, to get grounded. There are lots of different rituals and ways
Jumping
for
jacks.
you to know. Yeah, so many different things. We just have to find what that feels like for you. But part of creating a daily happiness practice with these micro-gratitudes, like getting grounded and zoned in and present, then you can actually notice the small things. Then you can be like, oh my gosh, look at that view. Oh, the sun feels so good right now. Or I love the way my feet feels, on this carpet. Or it's so nice to, cuddle with my cats. Or
because when you can be in those moments, it really does. This is so cheesy, so I'll just put that out there. But it really feels like that's what the point of living is for us to be like grounded and centered and just appreciating like the beautiful things around us.
Yes.
And it is hard to do those things when we live in a world where things are coming at us all the time.
Oh, for sure.
And so
we have to pause.
Yes, and we have to create a practice.
Yeah. You really do. Yeah, so going along with that of creating a daily happiness practice with micro-gratitudes it's really, I think, essential to set a daily routine that works for you. So that really can look very different for all of us based on what works for us. So like Erin, you mentioned setting a timer, right?
Right. So I'll walk you through what my recent habits are, right? So I have been drinking a cup of lemon water in the morning, and then I have a cup of coffee, and then I go and meditate. But I do this thing called the Inner Balance, which is this company that makes this thing called Heart Math, and it helps me to get into my body and to notice things, and then I can do grounded exercises, whether that's meditating or do some stretching or go for a run or whatever. But that same pattern like gets me into the day, and then in the evening, I need to reset the alarm because I don't have it. But for a long time, I had an alarm on my phone at 8:30 every night, and it said, "Erin, what are you grateful for today?" Just so that it like made me like brought it to my attention, because I was trying to get in this regular habit of appreciating and being grateful for for things. And so a daily routine, because sometimes we just need those things in order before, I mean, how many times? 21 days for things to become a habit, sometimes longer. And so, yeah, so that's what worked for me. Do you have any of those?
Yeah.
I went into my whole day.
I love it.
Chris is like, where we go the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to get, I've been feeling kind of content overload with stuff on my phone and just things in the media. So putting an alarm on my phone would not be good for me because I really want to check out. So for me, actually setting, like Erin said, having something she does in the morning and something she does in the evening as a regular, like daily thing that she does, that helps me. So starting my day, usually on my drive into work, I'm being present and paying attention to my senses and things around me that feel good, like starting my day. And then throughout my day, I try to make sure I have a break where I can just like go reset and then think about like something that went well in a session or something.
Or how happy she is to be my business partner.
Yeah. Just kidding. I actually texted her that last night because in the evening too, I like to pay attention to like how I reflect on my day and like what feels good. And I mean, it can be really small things. Appreciating my business partner is a big thing.
I appreciate my business partner too.
But it can be really small things like, oh my gosh, I actually had lunch today.
Yeah.
That is great. That is a micro gratitude. Oh, I actually was able to sleep like 8 hours or whatever the goal is. Or I had my water amount that I need to have today. Like it can be like really small micro things. So yeah, I like to in the morning have a nice start to my day. In the middle of the day, try to take a break and reflect, and then in the evening do the same thing, and really focus on the daily things that happened. I might look at the week, but that can lead me down a path of getting into a big picture, which can spiral. But you try it and you learn what works for you.
And those are the things that work for us. And so what Crystal does is different than what I do. And so it's really just figuring out what is going to stick. And so what is the best gratitude practice for you? It's the one that you're actually going to do.
Yes.
Right. And so
the one's like realistic, like you're actually going to make it happen. Yeah. Yeah. So that's our thing tonight. Being able to create a daily happiness practice with micro gratitudes.
And I think particularly during this season, this is what I was going to say earlier, particularly during this season when it's the holidays and like biologically, if you live in the northern hemisphere, the light is less during the day, and so it's this natural wanting to go in and hibernate. However, the holidays are during this time, and so it causes this very extroverted and being outward, and can be really confusing, like biologically, and also what we're expected to do during the holidays. And so having some sort of gratitude, micro gratitude practice can help us get through this sometimes confusing time. So it can be joyful and hard, and like I feel like being hibernating, but there's all these social people, all these social activities and people that I want to see. And so so
that's a really good point. So we invite you all to try out your own micro gratitude practice, or
let us know
try
how
some
it
of
goes.
these things. Yeah.
Or if you have things that have worked for you and you want to share, we would love to hear that, because we could always use new tips and tricks too.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we leave, speaking of the stress around the holidays, and it's another sort of social activity.
But then we're going to take care of you. So there you go. We're going to feed you, move you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So if you're local in the Denver area, this Saturday, December 7th, we're having an open house just focused on helping people to de-stress around the holidays. So anytime between 10 and 2, you can stop in. We're giving away free mini sessions of massage, acupuncture and healing touch, energy medicine. We'll have a yoga class. We'll have really yummy food. Also, if you bring a toy, we're doing a donation for a local charity here. So if you bring a toy for a toy drive, then you'll be entered into a raffle to win a free 60-minute massage or acupuncture session.
Yep.
So it's really a day to treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Seriously.
Yep.
We need it. The way to reset. Yeah, and it'll be a lot of fun. Just come hang out.
Right. And we had one back in the summer, and it was so fun to just have all the people here. And so we're hoping for the same turnout because it's super fun for us, and you get to take care of yourself. So
yeah, so we'll post in the comments below more details about it, and it's no charge. So if you have the time and space, we'd love to see you.
yeah.
All right. Hopefully we'll see you this weekend. If not, tune in next week for more Facebook Live. Oh, we're doing a Facebook Live-a-thon.
So we have all sorts of fun things coming next
every night next week at 6:30.
Yes.
So we'll see you all later.
Bye.
Bye.